Hello everyone and welcome back guys to round 2 of the LCR World Rallycross Championship, where today we're here in Portugal, here at Montelagres. I don't know how to pronounce the name of where we are here today. But yeah, jumping on though into week 2, obviously had quite a fun time out in week 1. Didn't quite end up going the way I wanted. The Subaru just really didn't have the pace to match any of the other cars around that circuit, so I was quite happy with making the grand final. But yeah, the Subaru was a bit closer to the pace here in Portugal, so hopefully we can try and get a good result out of it here today. Obviously, I'm going to ride you on board with my fastest heat, where unfortunately we find ourselves starting on the outside there, and then obviously through for whichever final we end up in here. You can see on the grid though, we've got one of the Renaults, one of the VWs there, and I think it was an Audi alongside us as well. I'm not 100% sure as we get ready on the grid though. Like always, the aim is probably just to make it to the grand final and then see where we end up from there. But the lights are coming on now then, and it is going to be lights out and away we go. They're responding actually quite well to the lights this time around. Obviously being on the outside, it's highly likely we'll just hit the Joker on lap 1. Yeah, that's exactly what we are going to do. We're going to try and get some clear air in this race here as we head back out on to the racetrack there. I think, has SRL Ben followed us through? Yes, he has. He's gone through the Joker lap as well with us as well. So yeah, we're back up into P3 then, not far behind Bram and Connor here. And like I said, this was going to be my fastest lap, my fastest race even, I should say, from the heats here. So yeah, let's ride on board, see what happens. You can see we're already all over the back of Bram and Connor as we head in towards the final couple of corners of the lap here. And apologies, this isn't actually from my stream this week. I didn't have time to stream, set up everything like that. So this week it is just the highlights here. But next week, out at Abu Dhabi, we are going to have the stream once again there as we send it up the inside of Connor down in towards turn 1 here. And yeah, like I said, I hadn't been able to do any practice before heading into this. I literally got home about 5 minutes before this evening was meant to be kicking off here as we head through in towards the final few corners of lap 2 there. The curbs around here are just so deadly. It's so easy just to light at the rear end and really force the car around here as we head through the final couple of corners there. Connor's going to give us a big punt, and that's going to allow Bram to get away here as through the final chicane we go there. Is Connor going to be able to get a run up the inside here? Bram's not going to take his Joker once again there as Connor is going to go for a very aggressive lunge there. He's costing us both a lot of time at the moment as we head through turn 2 there. We're going to completely slam the door shut on him through that fast chicane there as we head now down in towards the second half of this third lap of the race here. You can see Bram now is about 4 seconds up the road there, so I mean we were all over the back of him just a lap ago here as we head through the final couple of corners of the penultimate lap here. And yeah, we do need to try and keep it nice and tidy now, keep it nice and clean. We've built up a gap to Connor behind us, so hopefully we can try and capitalise on this and still end up somewhere near Bram in this race here. You can see losing a lot of time through the final sector. That was still where the Subaru really did lose a lot there. And Bram comes out of the Joker, and he is still going to be in the lead of the race there. And yeah, like I was saying, the first half of the lap we don't really lose too much, and then you get through this corner, and then the Subaru's just too big through the second half of the lap there. You can't get the power down because the wheelbase is too long, and it really does struggle in the final few corners of the lap here. As in towards the hairpin for one final time, and now down through the final couple of chicanes here. Just keep it nice and tidy. Obviously now all we're gunning for is the lap time there as at the final corner, chucking it over the curbs, and it is a 2-minute 33.836 there, which would only just be good enough there to get us through into the grand final. So quite happy, like I said, that were still able to sneak it through into the grand finals there. But again, we lacked a bit of pace this week. It was always going to be a rough one for ourselves there. But yeah, it is myself, Bram, Frobo, and Mel once again making it through into the finals. Unfortunately, Typhon isn't here this week, so we're going to have a bit of a, easier time, 4 of us rather than 5 this time out. But yeah, probably the 4 consistent people making it through into the grand finals here. And yeah, unfortunately, like I said, we can only really expect to get to the grand finals there. Mel is just far too quick. Joe's in the Peugeot, which is just absolutely... Sorry, the Renault even, I should say, which is absolutely rapid. And then Bram is more than happy to crash people out. So, we know we can do what we can expect from this car and just try to make grand finals and hope that consistency pays off at the end of the season here. But yeah, we're ready then for the grand final. It is 3 familiar faces alongside us from week 1 here, and obviously next week at Abu Dhabi it's going to be interesting to see if anyone else can make it through into this top group here. But yeah, starting P2 on the grid there, and it doesn't actually match up with where you think you're starting. It was actually meant we were on the inside ready for this race. So we'll wait and see as to how this goes there. You can see we are not on the grid according to that, which shows where we are actually on the grid. Ready for the start of this race here. But yeah, it's Joe in the Renault, myself in the Subaru there, Mel in the Fiesta, and then Bram in the Audi S1 there on the outside. So we're ready for this race once again. Getting the message about the Joker lap. Funnily enough, I've slowly but surely learned how that works in this series there. But yeah, we start on the inside for this one there, so it's going to be intriguing to see how this plays out for ourselves. You know, whether we can go for a bit of an interesting strategy and see if we can finish ahead of a couple of people here. I felt I had the pace last week, but made a couple of small mistakes that unfortunately cost us time at the end of the day. But we're ready then on the grid for the finals here. LCR World Rallycross Week 2 here in Portugal. The 5 lights are on now, and it is going to be lights out and away we go there. And once again, actually responding quite well to the lights there as we head down in towards turn 1 here. We're going to put a bit of a spanner in the works there. We're actually going to dive it in for our Joker lap here. Try to hold up Bram and Joe from behind us there. Mel is the only one that hasn't opted to take the Joker on lap 1 there, so hopefully we can try and stick fairly close to him, but that's probably worked out quite nicely for Mel here as we head down through the next few corners of the lap here. And yeah, like I said, I wanted to try and throw a bit of an odd spanner in the works. Let's see what Bram and Joe would try and do in retaliation to that there as we get a little bit wide through the penultimate hairpin there of the lap, just getting all kind of loose through these next couple of corners here. Try to get as close to the Armco as we possibly can here, but you know, you just can't get this car rotated around. It just struggles for the changes of direction here. And yeah, Mel now already 4 seconds up the road there, as you'd probably expect, and I'm sure Joe and Bram are going to be trying to apply the pressure as quickly as possible here as we head now down in through sector 2 here. You can see just trying to stay close as best as possible here. We've actually taken a 1/10 of a second out of Mel nonetheless there, so perhaps our consistency wasn't so bad there as we get all kinds of loose over the curb and once again here, just trying to keep the power down as best as possible here, keep the wheel spinning as we head down through the last couple of chicanes on the end of lap 2 here. Obviously we've got a couple of extra laps that we need to try and hold on to this time around there. As you can see, Joe and Bram still behind us are having a bit of a battle here down in towards turn 1, trying to keep it nice and tidy over the curbing there. But yeah, just lacked that, you know, lacked the practice that just meant I wasn't 100% sure about the lines here as we head down through in towards the final sector of lap 3 here. And at the moment we were holding on all right there, struggling a bit with the understeer though. As you can see, Joe now is going to try and look up the inside there perhaps, and we're going to give him the room on the inside there, and he's going to completely slam the door shut on the exit of the corner there. A lot of contact between the pair of us there, and unfortunately for me, that's going to send us to the rear of the field there. Both Joe and Bram though get into the Armco barriers. That might be a little bit of damage for the pair of them there. We're going to be able to have a look back up the inside of Bram as we head down in towards turn 1 there, and a little bit of contact with Joe there. Bram is going to clout into the back of us there, and that's going to send us all kinds of loose. I tried to keep the power down, and we end up in the wall, and somehow from that we pick up a double puncture as well there, which is rather frustrating, and now we basically can't do anything in this race. They're stuck in the outside wall there and tried to get the car going once again there, and yeah, it's all over once again there. We're going to be last in the grand finals here, and yeah, it's just, we feel like a turtle, you know, stuck on its shell at the moment there. We can only really go right there. We can't really pull the car left very well, as yeah, it's just not fun at the moment there as we head down in towards the final few corners of lap 4 there. I felt we definitely had the pace to hold on as we get spun around as well over the curbs there, doing some nice pirouettes for style points and everything like that. But yeah, as we skip on to the end of the race there, we lose so much time through that Mel would already be finished, and yeah, we'd unfortunately be 2 minutes back at the end of the day there. So not quite the way we wanted to end it, finish, even I should say, week 2 of the LCR World Rallycross Series there. Like I said, Joe, we just had a bit of contact with him. Bram got into the back of us, spun us and himself around in that situation there. But yeah, Mel takes home 2 from 2. Joe comes through for his second place in a row there, ahead of Bram and myself. Means we are now up into P4 of the Drivers' World Championship. But like I said, hopefully some extra consistency in the later rounds can really help us out there. But thank you all so much for watching this video nonetheless. Do get yourself subscribed if you're new around here and you do want to see more of the LCR World Rallycross Series. We will hopefully be back next week out, where we head to Abu Dhabi.